Hello, this is part 2 of this 9.9 horsepower Johnson from 1984. On the last video I got it running, but there was still many things I needed to do to get this engine to this current state. Now it's basically finished. I don't think I'm gonna do anything more about this. As you can see, I have found a new tiller arm that was missing from this engine. It's different color because this is older. It's from somewhere around mid-70s maybe. I'm not sure. I got this from a donor engine. I had issue with these teeth here. One of these teeth were broken on this particular tiller arm. So I had to find this new shaft because I couldn't get this part off from the shaft. I don't know if it's even possible. This tiller arm actually is shorter. For example, this is my 1985 engine. The tiller arm is longer, so the shaft is longer also, this one. I had the longer shaft for the tiller arm, but I had to cut it from this end. So I cut it and then I needed to make a hole for the screw to hold it in. But it's working and no issues whatsoever, so I'm happy with that. This cover part here is missing. As you can see, this one, this black plastic or leather, I don't know, it's plastic maybe, it's missing, so it looks a bit stupid. Also, this clamp was broken. I got this from the same engine as this tiller arm, but as you can see, this is not correctly in there because there was some issues with this. I couldn't get this clamp off, or this screw, I don't know what it's called, clamp screw that holds this. I couldn't get it off, so I had to drill this out, and it's not pretty, but it's working. The kill switch was missing, so I got that kill switch from the donor engine. This intake silencer fitted quite nicely. I wasn't sure if it's gonna fit, but it fits and works. I had issues with this pull starter, but it's working now. No issues there. I had one small issue with the carb. You don't probably see it from here, but the screw that holds the throttle linkage, that was broken from the carb, and I had to use some epoxy glue to glue the screw in. It works now, but it's not as good as new, but at least it's working. The fuel pump works, so I didn't change that. This fuel line wasn't installed properly. Now it runs from below here. It's much better because this wasn't working. This is the latch that keeps the cover on, so it was blocking this and it wasn't working. So when the fuel line is down there, it's working as it should. The kill switch is now properly attached with soldering, and it works nicely. And I also cleaned these ground wires, so it's getting great ground now. This part here was also missing, and I couldn't find the correct one. I made this by myself. I just got some spare metal parts and used some angle grinder to make it fit properly, and I painted it so it won't rust. So now this idle screw is working as it should. And I cleaned all these moving parts from the throttle linkage, and now it's working pretty good. These are always a bit jammy because there's so many linkage between here and all the way back to the carb. So there's like these teeth here, this shaft here, and there's some teeth there, and then there's this linkage and this linkage, and it goes here below the flywheel, and it turns this part, and it goes to the carb there. So there's pretty many linkages. There's always some play here. But when the engine is running, it's working much better. The prop, it's not in the best of shapes, but it's not the worst I've seen. It's not bent, it's a bit chewed up here. And the skeg was actually bent. I managed to straighten the skeg, this one. I just put a little heat on it, and I managed to tap it straight. So that's working, and there was some weird noises coming inside from the lower unit, and I ended up chasing all the parts from the inside, but actually it probably wasn't because of the gears. It was probably just adjustment issue. There's some adjustment here. This part here, this part of the gear selector, as you can see, and there's adjustment here on this metal part. There's a thread here, and you can screw this part in or out, so it changes the adjustment for this gear lever. And this was probably not adjusted correctly, and this caused the weird sounds from the lower unit. So probably the gears weren't broken in any way, because they looked pretty nice. There wasn't any excessive wear on them. And some small details, this starting instructions, that was missing, so I glued this from the donor engine. There's probably many things I didn't mention, but at least it's working now, and the tiller is working, so it's basically ready for testing. Two things I forgot to mention. This fuel connector here, it was leaking, so I changed it from the donor engine also. Now it's not leaking anymore. And while I changed the gears, I also changed a new impeller, so it's working much better now. And also I checked the compression, and it was like 105 psi on both cylinders. The summer is coming to an end. It's already a bit chilly day. It's not the prettiest, but at least it's working. Let's try how it runs. It's a bit smoky, but I think it's just because there's too much oil mixed in the gas. The kill switch works as it should, and it starts pretty well, pretty easily. A bit hard with one hand. But yeah, I think it's a nice engine. Not the prettiest, as I said, but it's working as it should. Starts easily, runs great. What else can you hope for?